What is it about this 2015 Porsche 911 GTS that makes it special? Well, it's special because it is a 991.1, and if you don't happen to be a Porschefile, well, I can tell you that this means it has a 3.8 litre flat six motor, and it is a pre-emission rules, non-turbocharged, loud and furious 911. And as I have been lucky enough to have owned this limited run GTS car for a year, let me tell you 7 ownership things you really should know, with point number 7 making sense of the whole GTS thing. Shall we go? And we're going straight in at point number 1, and that is that we have a seriously quick car here, punching out 430 brake horsepower and weighing just 1500 kilos. It is supercar fast. Dispatching 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 3.8 seconds. The relentless acceleration going on all the way to a seriously quick 190 miles per hour. I mean, 10 years or so ago, that was 911 Turbo S territory, and in 2015, the GTS was a supercar. Point number 2, and that is that the 911, that's 911s in general, are the most practical supercars you will ever find. Fancy a week-long trip to Europe, taking one's wife, together with a prerequisite suitcases, bags, shoes and general household paraphernalia? Well, no problem. Just load it up, place items on the rear seats and then flip the seat backs down to reveal a commodious luggage shelf. And don't forget that front boot, or trunk, or frunk if you prefer. Load that up and we are sorted and on our way to the ferry and onto continental Europe. And it's the PDK gearbox that comes in at point number 3. Firstly, be in no doubt that PDK gearbox is the very best semi-automatic box out there. Cog changes just take 200 milliseconds. It allows you to drop down multiple gears fast, and its brain can figure out what kind of driving you are doing at any moment in time before you even know yourself. And yet sometimes it still manages to be in the wrong gear at the wrong time. Okay, kickdown works quicker than most, but it's still a bit laggy. Stamp down works better. That's stamp throttle a few seconds before your planned overtake to wake it up, and it's ready for blasting off.
Point 4.
And this needs a track to explain, and it just so happens here we are in Spa. You see, if you have a 911 GTS, you not only have one of the very best road cars available, you also have a proper track weapon. And now that PDK box in auto in Sport Plus mode comes into its own. Blasting through Eau Rouge, holding that line, then flat out down the straight, the PDK expertly removes the distraction of gear changing, allowing you to concentrate on your driving. And it becomes even more essential because here we are at the Nürburgring, where even more concentration is needed. And onto smaller tracks, and this car will take everything you can throw it and more. Repeatedly hammer the brakes and take liberties into corners, and you'll realise there's no hint of rear end waywardness, just mesmerising grip and razor sharp turning. And following some hard laps, our 911 doesn't even need its brakes cooling down. What we have here is a properly sorted track car straight out of the box. So point number 5 could be subject to change, so buyer beware, but anyway, here goes. You're not going to lose very much money owning a 991.1 GTS. You see, this is the last of the naturally aspirated models boasting a well-chosen set of performance attributes, an engine note to awaken Queen Akasha, and a throttle response quicker than a handgun, and all meaning that those 911 buyers in the know value this over the later turbocharged car, and they clamour to own one of these 991.1 gems. To highlight this point, and having owned this car for a year, I've just agreed to trade it in, and I'm impressed to see its sticker retail price today is just £2,000 less than the day I went in and paid all my money over for it. Point number 6, and if you're an owner, you have got to have tyre insurance and probably alloy wheel insurance and almost certainly Porsche assistance. This comes in at around £500 a year to buy via a dealer. See, GTS comes with these centre lock wheels, the reason for which still escapes me, and they need 600 Newton meters of torque to release them, meaning they are beyond practicable removal by an owner. Porsche give you a tyre inflator but no spare wheel, so if you suffer a big puncture, you're going to need that Porsche assistance to transport your car to the nearest dealer. Oh, and if your wheel socket is used just once, your lovely satin black centre nuts will be scratched and chipped and requiring your alloy wheel insurance to restore them again. And so to point number 7, and the main thing I wanted to tell you about, and it's that this is a brilliant car to drive. Actually, no, that's wrong. What I really mean to say is it's complete, endless, unadulterated driving enjoyment. It's not just the best GT car around or the best resolved track day car. It's a completely supreme all-round driving experience every time you use it. It will thrill you, beguile you, satisfy your petrol head needs, and every drive will stay on your memory long after you've put it away. And it's this that's the 911 experience, the 911 GTS experience, made more vivid and more enthralling by having that last of a naturally aspirated, unlikely to be ever repeated, howling flat 6 engines. So you see, 12 months ago I was looking for a multi-talented, very high performance car, one which I could use every day, one I could drive across Europe, and one which would be exciting. So the choice became simple. It had to be naturally aspirated, and so it just had to be a Porsche 911 991.1 GTS.